Hi guys, it's me, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. It's a software technology that allows your kids, if they want to get an athletic scholarship, to find all the schools they qualify for that have their sport at the level they can participate, and they offer athletic scholarships. And so we show you a list of schools you qualify for, so you're not just limited to the schools that may be looking at you or some schools that you happen to know about that you've been thinking about going to. We want to broaden that out so you can pick the right school for you. Again, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are actually starting to trust me. I can see everyone starting to use the software. It's absolutely no cost to you guys. When you look down the description, a lot of people write me and go, hey, well, where's the code you're talking about? Sometimes you have to click, because I write a little bit about what this video is about, and then you have to click more, and then you'll see that code down there. But if you don't see it, feel free to write to us at info@AthleticSOS, and we'll send back to you what the code is and the instructions for how to use the code. So please use it. So one of the reasons I design AthleticSOS the way it is because I was trying to get the kids to figure out where they wanted to be instead of accepting where they were. And what I was really trying to get out of the kids is, who are you? Who are you as an individual? You're a kid, you play sports, whatever sports you play, you must be pretty good, because the idea is that you're going to get a scholarship. Somebody's going to allow you to come to school, pay for all of your schooling so that you can participate on their team at their school. And that's fantastic. That's part of who you are. But what I'm trying to get out of these kids is, I always talk about these 10-year increments. What are you going to do 4 years after high school, 4 years after college? Now you're another 2 years out. What does that look like for you? And the other thing I'm trying to make happen here is, I want to get a generation of kids that understand, yes, maybe I have to go to college, maybe I have to go get a job, doing something that makes enough money so that I can live and I can start raising my family. But what else am I going to do? Because it's not, their world is not going to work the way our world was, where you're going to be able to keep on promoting, and you're going to keep on making more money, and the company's going to take care of you, and all that. That's going away. And so they're going to have to be a little more clever. In fact, I had to put some papers together. We're working with all these really cool sports organizations, and and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I had to write a lot of papers to get qualified. They wanted to see some outlines for some of the speeches I'm going to make and all those sort of things. And I started using AI, ChatGPT to be exact. Those computers are amazing. I really got into it. I get into stuff. Once I start working on stuff, I get really into it. And this stuff is going to be amazing. It's going to make a big difference. But every time it wrote something for me, I had to go back and clean it up to make it fit what I was actually going to do. Yes, it could give me some pieces of it, and it saved me a ton of time. But it's also, I have to go back over it and make it work for me. The future is AI and things like that. But here's what it can't do. It can't put heart and soul in anything. So I think we're still okay as human beings. Don't panic, everybody. There's certain things that it can do and certain things it can't do. And it's going to make things a little bit easier, but for a lot of people, it's going to make things more difficult. But what it's also going to do is going to replace people's jobs. And this is the thing that concerns me more than anything else. You won't need that middle management. And that's usually what college puts you. It gives you the opportunity to hop over from the entry level. You qualify to move up into higher levels, because you're moving paper around, right? You're organizing the group, and you're in charge of the group, or you're managing something. That's the piece that's going to go away, and that's the piece that usually brings the higher salary. So anyway, I don't want to get too far down that line, but I think their life, they're going to have to do something on the outside, and I want them to do it anyway. And I want you guys as parents to get started on it, to come up with something, but I want it to revolve a little bit around your kid and who they're going to be as they move forward, so they can take it over. I'm into this legacy mode thing, and I want you guys to be into that too. And maybe it's just me, but I think that's the future of us, our families, everybody kind of working together to build something for the people that aren't even here yet, right? The grandkids, the great-grandkids, the great-great-grandkids, that you've built something. Maybe somebody will split off and it'll all be gone, but you won't be here and you won't know. But at least you got that thought process into your family's mindset of, hey, we're going to do something bigger than just what everyone else is doing. All right, so I'm going to come off of that. So one of the things I get, and I've done 2 additional talks to the parents that are going to use the software at a local high school and my local community center in my area. And so they asked me to come in. That's how I know we're doing things the right way. One of the things I ask the kids when I'm talking to them, I go, well, who are you? What are you all about? Because they're always saying, I don't understand the part about us doing our own. I always tell you guys to start your own social media, start showing your workouts, start showing your nutrition, talk about how tough it is, for practice and keeping your homework up and doing all that. Make yourself human and get people attracted to who you are. And the reason I want you guys to do that, when I first started AthleticSOS, I was completely against social media. But the reason you want to do it now is when that coach and that school are deciding who they're going to let come in and they're going to give this scholarship to, and you're dead even with someone, then they got to make a choice. Okay, I got to take kid A, kid B. Kid A has a following of a set number of people that are following them on social media. If I'm the college coach, my thought process is I'm going to probably bring that kid over because their followers are going to start following our team, and that can do nothing but help us, make us more popular. And maybe some other kid that's in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade will say, hey, I want to go to that school too because this person went there. And you could start building up this down line of people, and they didn't have to do any work to build that down line. You built it for them. So that makes a big difference for you. The other thing is we talk about, as they're looking at the colleges, I get a lot of people to go, okay, we've got these 3 or 4 colleges. Which one do you think would be best? And I go, well, I have no idea. I don't know you that well, but I'll start asking some questions. The first one is, what's your major? And usually all the schools have their major. They did do that part. And then the second thing, how far do you want to be from home? Are you trying to get away from home? I'm asking the kid, and I'm trying to be as polite as possible. Are you trying to get away? Are you trying to spread your wings? Does it fit your who you are as a person, where it is it suburbia, is it urban, is it rural? Is that the kind of environment you want to be in? The things you want to do you like to go hiking, fishing? Do you like go to museums, or do you like to go to plays? Do you want to, what kind of person, who are you? What would you be doing in your downtime if you were just going to get out for an hour for a weekend, sometime during the week with some of your friends from school? What would you like to go do? Is that nearby enough for you to be able to get there? So those kind of things I want to think about. And then finally, what is it that you'd like to do that the people that you play sports with would kind of give you a hard time about, like they tease you about, like, what are you doing type of thing? And a lot of them are into art and drawing, and those are actually cool, so I don't know why they always mention those. A lot of them are into music and things like that. But I said, I don't care who you are, there's something about you that you need to bring out, that you have to find out, that is just naturally into you, and you're into it, but you don't make a big deal about it. It doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but it's very important. These are the things that you want to start to cultivate as you move forward. And does this place that you're going to go to school allow you to get closer to that? And that could be a big way for you to do it. But the last thing I want to talk about on this one, and I'll keep this one short for you guys, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, we got to do a better job. I'm talking to these kids. These kids have never been camping. They've never been fishing. They've never been to the zoo. They've never been, they haven't done anything. Now they're into their video games and stuff. And I would say as parents, especially, maybe every now, why don't you go in the room and go, hey, what are you guys playing? Teach me how to play this thing. And just see if they can teach you. At least you can find out more about them, and you can sit around. I know you're busy. I know you do a million things. In fact, if your kid is good enough to play at the collegiate level, you've done a great job of nurturing this part of them to the point where you're actually thinking about this, that this is a possibility for you. So I'm not trying to ride you guys. I get it. I did the same thing. I had to raise a couple of kids. But there are expos, there are conventions all over the place about everything, even things you didn't think about. I used to take my kid to the county fair all the time, and there's always, the rides are over here, but there's all these areas where they're doing judging on different things. Take them around. There's always a rodeo or something there, or there's a horse show or a dog show or something. Just take them and let them experience. There's a whole world out there, because you don't know what's going to click or what's going to connect with them or what they want to know more about. We used to have at our Cal Poly Pomona up here, which is close by me, they used to do this reptile and insect show, and I used to always take my kids there, and then they would tell other people, my other nieces and nephews, and everybody would come over, we'd all end up going together. And so, but they never, they're not into bugs or anything, but still it was something different. You got to find something. Look in the newspaper. If it's if it's an hour away or less, you got to do it. You got to take your kids and go do something with them. And I get it. You're working hard. Your kids don't want to hang out with you now. They're teenagers. I get all of that. But you can still make a day out of it and go do some stuff. Just get out and move around and let them see the world completely differently than they did before. And then the other thing I would ask them, I go, well, what do you like to read? And the kids don't really read books the way we used to, and I get it. They can read online, you can do Audible, all these things are out there, but get some books. I know when I was growing up, I was just into the Agatha Christie, but my favorite was always Sherlock Holmes. I was just into that. I think I have every book ever made by them. In fact, I was mad after I read them all. There was nothing left, but it made me realize as I walk through life, I'm not looking at everything. I don't see everything. That was always fascinating to me. Everywhere I would go, I would look around and pick up on little things that I hadn't paid attention to before. And in fact, that's something I'm going to be putting together later on. And then here's the final piece. And here's what I tell all the kids every single time. What do you see that you can put into the world that's not here, that you think should be happening, but it's not happening? And they always look at me with a puzzled face, and I get that. I go, keep that in your mind as you go through life every day. What should be in the world that's not in the world that would help people out, that would help you out, that would help somebody in your family out? What is that, and how do you put it out in the world in a way where it can be used by them and it will help a lot of people out? I go, if you start doing that, ideas will start to percolate in your mind. Everywhere you go, you'll start to see things. What should be in the world that's not in the world that you think could help other people out? And so those are some of the things that I wanted them to think about as they move forward. And then the final thing is, I don't think you can make a bad choice. If you've done this much homework and you got it down to 2, 3, 4 schools, then you've done the work needed to say that if you go there and it does not, for whatever reason, it doesn't go the way you wanted to go, it's not a failure or anything like that. You're going to take that and now you're going to fix it. You're going to maneuver around it. You're going to make sure it comes out, something good comes out of it, because everything can be fixed. You're never stuck. I think I've said that on a million videos, because I don't think you're ever really just stuck. You just have to figure out a way out and stop worrying about what other people think. I think that's the thing for both for adults and for young people. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. And that thing about you that's kind of geeky, it's the coolest thing ever. And if you let other people know, especially people on your team, people that play sports. I know sports feels like a macho thing, a male or female. It still feels like you're the jock on the campus. You get a lot of grace because of it. But everybody else on your teams and stuff like that, they want to let some of that stuff out too, but they're afraid. You can be the first one, especially if you're a kid that's talented enough to play at the next level, at the collegiate level. Then you've got a lot of cachet with everyone else. Nobody's going to give you too hard of a time if you're doing something. Actually, it becomes cool all of a sudden. And then the final piece I'm going to put on this is, use your status on campus to help out some of the other kids that may be getting looked over or get teased or anything like that. You got to befriend some of those kids. I know absolutely for sure that some of those kids you went to elementary school with, you went to junior high school with you, like I say, walk through the halls, give them a little dap. Hey, what's going on? Hey, weren't you on blah, blah, blah? Didn't you do this or that? You remember something about them. Give them something where everybody's looking at them like, wait, he knows him, or she knows her, or she knows him, whatever that mix-up is. That will go a long way for that kid as they move forward. And then if you can, if there's some subject that you're having a little bit of trouble in and you're doing something, and one of those kids and you happen to know they're in the class with you, some kids in the class, maybe you don't know them from Adam, but you can say, hey, you think you can help me out with this a little bit? You seem like you're pretty good at this. Those are kind of things that you get the ability to do that a lot of people don't. Go ahead and use it for good, and just be a good, caring person, and it's going to carry you a long way in life, and it's going to make you're going to start feeling even better about yourself, and as you move forward, things are going to go well for you. And then, I know I said the last piece, but here's the other thing. A lot of the colleges this year coming up are not requiring the SAT, ACT, and I hear that a lot from the parents. I want to say this. From 2020 to 2023, kids graduating this year, yes, the NCAA is not requiring any of that stuff, and a lot of the colleges aren't, and more colleges aren't. But the NCAA, I don't know what they're going to do yet, and I'm going to let you guys know the minute I find out. But I think they're going to bring some of that back. They wanted some sort of academic excellence there, because they want to make sure that as an athlete, you guys don't all just go to these colleges and you can't hack the academic piece of it, because it makes the NCAA and the NAIA, it kind of makes them look bad, because, hey, you guys are bringing these athletes here, but they're not prepared. We don't want them just coming here to play sports. We want them here to be a student athlete on the campus. And so I think they're going to bring something up. And even if they don't, what the colleges are going to do, and I tell people, be careful what you ask for, you might get it, right? So yes, you don't have to do the SAT, ACT, but now I'm going to need some references, and then I want you to kind of come in for an interview or have an online interview, and you're going to have to start asking some questions. Things are actually going to be tougher for you, and then the final piece of that is going to be, now they can decide whether or not to admit somebody, and they don't have to follow the ACT, SAT. At least if you did well in the ACT, SAT, you had an argument, or they had to justify, why are you taking this kid over that kid? And maybe the parents gave some money to the school, or maybe they're trying to do something diversity, whatever they were trying to do. Now they can get away with doing anything they want to. They can exclude people or include people, based on just something that they feel, right? They had an interview with you and I want this person over that person. Whereas at least with the SAT, ACT, you knew you had the scores, the test scores, and you knew you had your GPA. That should help you get in. Then you had an argument. Now you're not going to have an argument. You're going to have to be a much more well-rounded. You're going to need your teachers on the campus being references for you. You're going to need that coach. You're going to need somebody in that area. And then you're going to need some outside people. So now people are kind of painting themselves into a corner. I know everybody always wants to take the easy way out, but if there's never an easy way out, it just gives people, when there's no rules, when there's no guidelines for what qualifies for something, then anything can qualify, okay? So let's be on the lookout for that. Just basically for you guys, I know you're gonna be athletes, and if you're an athlete, that's kind of your golden ticket to get in, but make sure you're well-rounded on the things that you're doing outside of just your regular schoolwork and just playing sports. Kind of get well-rounded, and then most importantly, find out who you are. Parents, help them out. Aunts, uncles, help them out. Grandparents, help them out. Take them to things. Let them see stuff. Let them discover some things. Ask them questions. What do they like to do? And find an expo. Find a convention that specializes in that, and you take them up there. Maybe you go sit on the bench somewhere, or maybe you get involved in it too, because it could be interesting for all you guys. And then think family-wise. What can we grow together and get positioned for them? I know I go to work. You go to work every day. You got hours. You got time when you come home. You guys can start putting something together. Maybe on the weekend, start putting something together and look into it. There's a lot of ways to do things. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you guys in everything you do. Look down below, AthleticSOS. I give you the code. I give you the instructions on how to use it. Please use the software. I know it's changing lives. It's going to give you an advantage over everyone that doesn't use it. I can promise you that at the very least. And then you guys are going to take that and run with it and get creative with it. And write us at info@AthleticSOS and tell us how you're using the software. And if something that is not there for you, you think we can add, we're making some changes to the software to make it a little bit even better for you guys. But write me and let me know. And then we'll try to see if we can get something in there. If not this go around, maybe the next go around. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Best of luck to you in all your endeavors. Bye.